Okay, with the creative team of I Wish I Were Pretty, we got Quan Robinson Thomas, who is the producer, and we got Hanah Chang, who is the writer director. Hannah, you're in Denver, and Quan, you're in Atlanta, correct?
Anna, you got it.
All right, Atlanta's doing well. It seems like it's making movie after movie these days. It's a good place to be, I think.
For the most part, yeah, definitely, just like everything else across the industry, things have completely slowed down. But
Yeah.
if you're in the independent space and you're working on your own project, then Atlanta is a great place to be.
All right, let's talk about I Wish You Were Pretty. Really fantastic film. A lot of themes going on. Hannah, you wrote the script. You're also the star of the film, correct?
Yes, I am.
And let's just assume this is a personal film for you.
Yeah, very much so.
So tell us about like what kind of like what prompted you to, I'm assuming there's some insecurities and fears when making a film like this. What prompted you to kind of write the script first and then head it to production?
Well, I didn't get into the industry until 2019, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And that was when a lot of people were, I think people were probably talking about this before, but especially at that point, a lot of people were saying how important it was to write your own stuff and make your own stuff. So I started writing around that time. And then, writing there are lulls and times of momentum. I don't remember exactly when, but sometime in 2020, I started on the original version of I Wish I Were Pretty, which had a much larger cast. And then I came across a short screenplay competition specifically for Asian American women called the Julia Escow Short Screenplay Competition. And I thought it would be perfect. So I went back into my vault of unfinished scripts, found that original version of I Wish I Were Pretty, and felt like that was the most viable, like the easiest thing for me to pick back up. Um, and at the time, that competition needed the screenplay to be 15 pages, so it was 15. And then when I didn't get it, I thought I could just do it myself, and then it elongated a little bit. Um, and then I met Quan through a or a mentoring program for women of color, specifically in the film and media,
Yeah.
and we teamed up together and made it happen.
Oh wow. So that's how you guys met.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And what and how would you say that relationship between the two of you collaborating went? Would you if you gave yourself a grade?
a great back to school. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
I think like it was pretty seamless. I think the reason why we came together in the first place was because we felt like um we had very similar goals, similar visions
Yeah.
of wanting to uplift folks like ourselves. And so I would say we, we've made like this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So I think we did a good job.
So Quan, what attracted you to the script and Hannah?
Yeah, I think the script, when I read it, was very authentic. You could tell that it was a lived experience, but there was also something very heartwarming about it. So the immediate response was like, oh wow, this is a very specific Korean American woman's story, yet I can identify with it. And so I knew that as soon as I was able to find that through point for myself, that it would be there for many other people as well. And I think that's what we've encountered along this journey is that, while it's a very specific story told from a very specific perspective, that it has overarching themes that anyone can relate to and anyone can identify with. And we've really just kind of leaned into that across the journey, and it's been really heartwarming to kind of be a part of that process. So that was what drew me in, and that really has kept me connected with the project throughout this entire process.
What you just said is like I have like this notepad when I was writing this your film, and it's exactly what I said. It's like it's specific story about Korean culture, Korean woman, but it's got universal emotions that everybody in the history of mankind can relate with.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and it's like
Absolutely.
so it's doing that. It's like it's carrying both the like her specific world that culture that she's in, and then also having that kind of emotion that that we all can understand, right? So that insecurity of the vanity, especially in the 21st century, not to sound like a cliche, but with the social media and the constant vanity being pushed into our agendas of our society, it's, you can't help but think about it all the time, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I think too, the other thing that kind of really linked to the universality of it is the friendship piece of the film as well.
Yeah.
And how, external things can complicate a very, close relationship, and kind of the way that you can maintain that and also, support each other and encourage each other. And I think that's another through point that people can really connect to as well, is the friendship aspect of it.
So I like the way it's done. So Hannah, did you always think that did you always want voiceover in the film, kind of the inner monologue of the character in the film?
I did until then we had to re-record the voiceover part, and then I hated myself for it. That was quite the struggle, but I was always there from the beginning. I was quite proud of myself when I wrote that part. It was like, oh, look at that. It is like inner thoughts, but also she's in therapy. Ha, what a transition. Um, yeah.
So I like the way it's structured because there's like you talk like your character is starting with herself in her inner monologue. There's a great moment where like you're looking at the mirror and you're smiling, but then your voiceover is the exact opposite of smiling. It's like this contradictory emotions going on. Like you're trying to put a face, even though you put a face to yourself because you're not even in the world. You're just talking to your mirror. You're trying to convince your own self of what you're feeling, I guess.
Right. It's very much copium. She's looking at herself at this outfit that she has curated
Yeah.
through Pinterest inspiration, and is happy with it until she looks at her face and remembers that this is the hardest part. This has always been the thing that has dragged her down. Um, but it's like, what are you gonna do? You have to live your life, so deal with it, I guess. That's
Yeah.
where that comes from.
So yeah, but so the way the structured starts, I was gonna throw a cliche line like you're not like you are beautiful, but but basically, but I understand what the film's about. So basically, so you got the structure of like you're by yourself, and then you go to your therapist, and you keep going back to the therapist during the film, and then you're at the bar with your friend, so there's context to who you're talking about, and then you have the men, and then you have your family, and then so you're kind of getting to know Hannah through the perspective of the people in her life, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean that is screenwriting in like a nutshell, right? You have to show what life is like normally for your protagonist,
Yeah.
and then show the things that shift along the way to show how they are also changing.
Mhm.
And those characters allowed me to provide context as to why she feels the way that she feels, and um and what has shaped her to be who she is today.
And
Very
the
much.
conflict is you're talking about screenwriting. The conflict arc is that it's nothing external. It's all in her mind, in her soul, I guess.
I mean, it's a little bit of both. For sure, internally, those insecurities are very deep inside and come up very often. Um, but those societal expectations and pressures are very, very real. And I mean, it's why people can relate to it, right? Like you asked why I felt okay with writing about such a vulnerable thing. Honestly, I didn't even think about that part until once we started getting into theaters, watching it with audiences, particularly if there were people in the audience that I knew. I suddenly felt that moment of fear and vulnerability, like, oh wow, these people now they're getting to see a little bit of what's been in my brain,
Yeah.
a part of what's been in my brain, but that came much later. um but the original thing was sorry, I lost track.
The eternal like conflict, like it's
Yes,
basically
yes,
because
sorry, yes.
even the external conflict is you're reacting to it. It's like it's all in your head, right?
It's there. I mean, yes, it exists within her, within me, because of what the world tells us how we have to look a certain way. I mean, like, I the number of people that I know, like Korean and Korean American women who
Yeah.
are by no means like largely sized people, but they're told all the time, you're too fat, you have to lose weight, you look this way, you don't look enough that way, change all this about yourself. Like it's hard to shut out those voices.
Yeah. So that's you saying that's a universal Korean, universal kind of message that's happening?
Yes, yes. If you look at any K-pop idol, whether they're a man or a woman or however they identify,
Yeah.
not I'm gonna guess that 99.9% of them have gone through some sort of plastic surgery. Um,
Sure, but that's
but
you can say that about all the white people who are pop stars too, right?
uh, I don't know that you can say that. Um, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know because I'm not in that world and
Yeah.
I haven't been a K-pop star.
Or there's some
But
sort of
I
like
do know
some
people
sort
who
of
have
like
gone through that process,
some
and
sort of food disorder or like dysfunction, I guess. Right? So,
it's very dysfunctional. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, there is
I'm
an
saying it's a
immense amount of
universal
pressure.
thing. It's like but I understand in your culture it's like vanity is you're saying it's a very important thing.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're just applying to a regular job, like a corporate job, every single person has a photo of themselves on their resume, which I don't think is a thing that
In
we
Korea,
do here in
that's
the
what they do in
US.
Korea.
Yeah, and those are always photoshopped. And even passport photos are photoshopped. Like anything that you put out there,
Wow, okay.
nobody wants anyone to see what they actually look like.
Because I guess LinkedIn is the like getting jobs. Everybody's got their headshot, supposedly, I guess. But it's like I didn't know you go to an actual job, like a
Yeah.
job like and you have to have a headshot of yourself.
It's just like a tiny little
Yeah,
picture
it's
on the
still that's interesting.
corner.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
I mean, what I don't know what the job application process is like, but I
yeah,
imagine that you just like here, you're submitting everything online. But the difference is that they get to see what you look like right there on the resume
yeah.
versus not doing that here in the US.
Gotcha. That's interesting. Okay, so Quan, you were like, so how did the film come together? You obviously did you write a script, you produced it. Did you kind of bring the crew together? What was the process?
Yeah, so I think it was overall a collaboration. Obviously, Hannah wrote the script. We filmed in Chicago. At that time, Hannah was living in Chicago. She had a very strong film community that she was a part of in Chicago. So we sourced a lot of people from that community. We also opened it up to Facebook, Instagram. We put out a crew call. We put out a casting call. But again, it was very important to the both of us that we create this film with as many BIPOC creatives as possible. Um, and so we were very clear in our directives of like, we are looking for, this. We are open to working with everyone. So we weren't exclusive. We are open to working with everyone, but we
Yeah,
really wanted to create opportunity and create a space
yeah,
for not just in front of the camera, but also behind the camera for people who looks like us and for people who were, searching to have their voices represented in an authentic way. And so we largely put that out in our messaging and we were very successful in being able to achieve that goal. And then in terms of like, really kind of like putting things together. I mean, the resources, again, a collaboration. I brought a lot of resources from connections and my experience as a producer over the years. Hannah had a strong film community connection as well. And then we had just like a really, really incredible support system around us in terms of people who just would give anything that we asked financially, emotionally, energy, like just everything that we needed. We really had a really strong support system with us that kind of locked everything in.
so Hannah, you're directing and you're acting. You're in every scene, right? So,
Almost.
well, basically, you're in every scene. So, like, like that sounds like a daunting kind of experience for you. How did you prepare to direct and act at the same time? Did you have everything shot listed, storyboards? Did your cinematographer, I'm assuming, kind of like guided you in the correct take and etc.?
Oh my goodness. I would not do that again. That was way too
Yeah.
much. Um, I will asterisk. I didn't direct it because I have aspirations of becoming a director. I just didn't know who else I could reach out to who spoke Korean, lives in Chicago,
Yeah.
is a woman, all those things. It's like, shit, I think that's me. So that's why I
Well,
did it.
let me just
But
say before you go, like keep directing because it's a really nicely directed film, by the way. Okay, good, go ahead.
thank you. Um, I couldn't have done it without being able to trust the crew and everyone at the monitor to let me know what's going on. I
Yeah,
mean, on some level, as an actor, I could tell when something um felt good,
yeah.
but obviously, like I don't know what it looks like. So I relied heavily on everyone else to guide me in that way. We didn't storyboard, but I mean, part of the prep was I kept reading the entire script out loud over and over again in everything that I did. And like if I was doing dishes, I would have the script next to me and just and read it out loud. And that's how I would know if something felt right, if something felt off. That's how I tried to make sure to fully memorize the words, have them embodied within me, like really in there so that I could not have to worry about that on set, which like I think is generally what actors are supposed to be doing. But I
Yeah.
paid particular attention to it for this one.
And then what about the rest of your cast? Because they're like you got the therapist, you got your friend. They're both fantastic. A lot of scenes with both of them. Where did you find the two of them?
So Miriam, who plays Jane, I've known for oh my goodness, like 20 years now. We didn't go to church together, but like we had kind of similar church circles, and we kind of allude to it in the childhood flashback scene with the mom and her church friend. Like, if you're Korean American and you live in the US, there's a 90% chance that you've been to church at some point. And those circles are very small
Hmm.
and they can cross state borders. So I've known Miriam since back in the church days, and she went to DePaul University, got her BFA in acting in theater there. Fantastic actor, as you said. And Mandy, I think we found through the Instagram and the Facebook casting calls. And uh, I mean, everyone was so easy to work with. Everyone brought their A game. Like it was the directing, yes, like I did that, but also they made my life really easy.
Yeah, they're great. And you got like some really nice direction there. The way you, even the editing, the way you kind of like got in there when you needed to, and then kind of moved back, and kind of
I
just yeah. It's like I like the
I
bar
leaned
scene
also
there.
very heavily on Quan and Rue, our editor, to help
Yeah.
guide that process. I
I like
was
the bar
very
scene. I like the way it's lit. It's like it's a nice kind of but it's kind of like a nice thematic to your film, the way it's all
yeah,
set up.
yeah,
Yeah.
all the colors and everything. I used to
Yeah.
work there. That's why we shot there.
Yeah. It's a nice thing. And then yeah, and then obviously I guess I'm assuming that's like your apartment building or someone's apartment building, right? So
A friend of a friend's, yeah.
yeah, friend of a friend. Yeah. That's how it usually
And
works.
yes, and then the therapy scene and then the childhood flashback scene. That's one location actually. My husband's aunt's house out in Elgin. Thank
Yeah.
you, Tita Nene.
But and yeah, and like are you is that what acting is acting your lead? Is that what you want to do?
Um, I mean, like we all know, the industry is in a really weird place. I don't quite know how I want to proceed. Acting is how I started.
Mhm.
Um, there are moments where I still find joy in learning more about a character and reading a script and whatnot, but um, I don't really know what I want to do. I mean, it's been rough. The burnout is real, if
The
I'm going to be
burnout is
really honest.
real.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great film, and your performance is there. You it nails all the beats, right? So, and I love the way you directed it. I love the even the ending scene where you kind of clear your face, and it's just like it's not really about that. And of course, it's like I said, easier said than done, and that's sort of what the film's about, right? Because I think we all know that, but then we all kind of get sucked into this crazy vanity that we live in. You know what I mean? So,
The pretty privilege is super real. Like
yeah.
it's a whole thing. But yeah, I thank you for your kind words. I think we are always going to be our harshest critic. So I see all of the imperfections and they stare very largely looming in my head, in my eyes. But I think I think we got the message across, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, there are lots of things, but mainly that you are who you are. And when you feel the pressure to be somebody else or to look a certain way, try and take a step back and shut out the noise and recognize that it's a long process,
Yeah.
but you just have to start. And then where you end up is,
Yeah.
well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And you never it's hard to judge too much or like envy or be jealous of somebody too much because you don't know you're not walking in their shoes, right? You don't know what they're feeling. You don't know what their life is like, right? So that's sort
Yeah.
of what the lies of social media is. It's like everybody's kind of giving their best version, right? So but it's all a
Yeah.
bunch of bullshit, right? So
It really is. It's such a trap. I hate it.
yeah. No, but it is, right? Like, 'cause it's like it's just it's all lies. Like
I know. We're only showing the highlights of our lives mostly.
I would call this the lie generation from the people who are in power now, social media. We are in the lie generation. So
Well,
Yeah.
not even so much lie, but like, unfortunately, we've gotten into a space where you can create your own truth,
yeah,
which is
well,
it's the
yeah,
same thing, but
yeah,
it's like, we've kind of built a system just across society in general that you can create whatever world around you want to, have around you,
yeah,
whether it goes into, the type of content that is curated for your social media streams, or what kind of information you take in on a daily basis. Like you
yeah,
even in watching TV, there used to be a time when you were locked into like the network channels, and what was on network is what you had to watch. Now you don't have to watch it at all. You can just watch your Netflix
or
playlist,
the
or you can
newspaper would
watch.
come in. Yeah,
Yeah, same with the newspaper. You had to get a wealth of different
yeah,
voices and a different perspectives. And now it's like I don't have to listen to anyone actually that I don't want to listen to. I can just, pick what I want to
yeah.
pay attention to and pick
That
what I want to
well,
listen
I think that's your next film right there. What you just said.
to.
Both of you. All right, guys, I really appreciate your time. Great film. I'm glad it's doing well in the festival circuit. I think it's fantastic. And Hannah, keep making films, keep directing. I think you're onto something. So, Quan, you're great. You could tell it's a nicely produced film. So, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And thank you for having us. We really appreciate that.
Anytime. Well, let's talk when you make your next film.
We will.